So today we're going out to Smith Rocks, which is out in the high desert here in Central Oregon. It's about a 90-minute drive from the house. I'm hopeful that it'll be comfortable. We've been in the middle of a heat dome for the last month or so here in the Pacific Northwest of the U.S., and it's been much hotter. Also, there are some wildfires that are going on. My hope is that it doesn't, the smoke hasn't filtered to Fort Rock yet. That's hard to say. Filtered to Fort Rock yet. We'll find out when we get out there. So come on, let's go. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we're not quite there, but we're almost there. And you can see that we're pretty much just out here in the sagebrush. Fort Rock is, I think it's about 45-minute drives southeast of Bend, Oregon. And it's pretty much just out here in the sagebrush. There's not a lot of things going on. It's just sagebrush farming, and there you can see Fort Rock out there. Give you a sense of, again, there's just not much out here. We're going to go really close. We'll be right at the base of the rock. But I'm also going to take you to a really cool place in the town of Fort Rock, which is about 5 miles from here. So hang on. So here we are at the Fort Rock Museum. It's really cool. I hope you enjoy it. It's about a mile from Fort Rock or so. Hang on here. Yeah, there's Fort Rock right there. And we're going to do the museum. So let's get on with it. It's a bunch of old farmsteads, and I plan on doing a voiceover when we go into into the buildings, so that you can learn what each of the buildings are. But they've moved a lot of the homes, not a lot, there's several homesteads in here. And you recall that I was worried that there'd be a lot of smoke. I have to tell you, the sky is as empty as my bank account. It's really nice. I'm not sure if you can see it, but way off in the distance you might see the smoke from that wildfire. That wildfire actually is the largest wildfire in the United States right now. And it's about, I want to say it's about probably 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes as the drone flies away from here, but the wind's blowing in a different direction. So let's go about the museum. And right now we're going into the Stratton House. I really like this place. I've been to this museum multiple times. This is the first time I've been here with any video. And I'm almost the only person here. There's the receptionist who took my money. It's $5 to come in and do this tour. Last one's at 4 o'clock, and they do it between, I believe it's 11 a.m. and 4 or 4:30. They close out. I know that the last tour is at 4 o'clock, so that's cool. And yeah, so it's me and the receptionist, and one gentleman pulled up just as I came into the reception area. So let's go ahead and walk around. This is the Stratton House. Fred Stratton, his wife Hannah, and their two sons, Frank, age 7, and Louis, 2, moved to Fort Rock from Michigan in 1912. Fred was an excellent carpenter and single-handedly built this house. Soon after the house was completed, he drilled a well 196 feet deep. He supplied water for several surrounding families at a cost of 3 cents a barrel. In 1915, the Stratton family moved to the town of Fort Rock, and the homestead was sold. Years later, the house was moved to town, where it served as a post office, store, and later a storehouse. The house was donated to the museum, and on the 4th of July, 2000, it was moved across the street to where it now stands. Frank Stratton, and I'm assuming that's the grandson, and his wife Vivian were founders of the Fort Rock Valley Historical Society and opened this museum in 1988. Frank died in 1994, and Vivian in 2009 at the age of 104. And for a homestead, you want your copy of Farm Life. And, of course, American Magazine. You even have, of course, you can't live without your Sears Roebuck catalog. All through the entire museum, there's a lot of old spices and things that they used to use back in the 1800s. Such as Junkett's freezing mix for making ice cream. Isn't that interesting? This is the artifacts. Let's take a look at some of these. These are all Indian arrowheads. The oldest local cultural sites date to 14,500 years, about 500 generations ago. People lived around the edges of Fort Rock Lake and Summer Lake. Some villages were home to thousands of people over thousands of years. This is a representative collection of ancient artifacts. This cabin dates from the early 1900s near Bend and was donated to the museum in 1997 when the new parkway was constructed. Dr. James Tom. Dr. Tom came to Silver Lake in 1905 after finishing medical training in Minnesota. At first, he rented a room at the Chrisman Hotel and treated patients in the lobby. A year later, he built a home in this office, which was used until he moved to Bend in 1924. In 1985, the office was abandoned as a useful building and was moved to the museum in 1987. During his practice in the area, Dr. Tom delivered over 100 babies and saved countless lives during the 1917 flu epidemic. I'm sure the doc did a lot of good things for a lot of people. There isn't a whole lot of anything out here, as you've seen in some of this footage. So his office, I mean, he was it. Trust me, he was it. Did you want to stay for dinner? If you like the Old West, if you like homesteading, this is the place to come because you're going to be able to see how they lived and the sorts of tools and things that they had in order to do what they needed to do to survive. George Menkenmeyer built this log cabin in 1910 before marrying Hazel Penrose in 1914. Dr. Tom delivered their two children, Beatrice and George. The children played in the area around Cow Cave, now Fort Rock Cave. In later years, Hazel met anthropologist Dr. Luther S. Cressman of the University of Oregon, and due in part to her interest in the cave, Dr. Cressman initiated an excavation of the cave, resulting in discovery of the Fort Rock sandals. Yeah, I think it's time to go to the store. I don't think I need any gas, but I may need some spice. As I've already mentioned, I do like to spice up these vlogs. So let's see what they've got. Well, they do have some canned goods and some spices. Yeah.